Solange Mougin there. Well, for more on this story, we're joined now on set by our international affairs editor, Philip Turle. Hi, Philip. Can you give us a bit more background then on this plant and on these protests?
Right. Well, first of all, I was talking to one of our colleagues in the Arabic service of France 24, who actually comes from Gabes, and he was giving me a bit of an insight into how things are operating there. The phosphate is brought to the town by train, and he said that there are dozens of ships that are lined up in the port to collect the final product, this fertiliser, which is a huge industrial money it brings in money to the company to the country on a very large basis, and it's something that is very profitable towards Tunisia. So it's going to be difficult for the Tunisian authorities, in his view, to actually close this company down very quickly, or this plant down very quickly. He says that, according to his reports from the ground, from his family, who is still there, one of his sisters has got cancer as a result, he says, of the company. This is due, for the moment, this increase in cases, to a faulty filter at the company, which is pouring out more infectious chemicals into the atmosphere, and that's why people are so upset and angry about it, and that's led to these protests over the past few days. Now, if you look at what has actually happened in the town of Gabes itself, it used to be quite profitable. There were lots of green areas, there were lots of palm trees. He says all of these have disappeared as a result of the company being there since 1972. The town is much more dirty than it used to be in the 1970s, and there doesn't seem to be any perspective of this changing in the short term. The group Stop Pollution, which has been orchestrating these protests over the past few days, certainly since the beginning of September, says that 92% of marine stocks have collapsed, including fish and biodiversity. There has been beach pollution, respiratory diseases, and of course increases in the cases of cancer. So that has all pushed the people to come out and start protesting, saying, well, look, the authorities have not done the necessary job to try to stop this from getting worse. And in fact, now they're ramping up production. This has got to stop, because all of us in the town of Gabes are suffering as a result of that.
And what are the Tunisian authorities? What are they saying? How are they reacting?
Well, the problem with this is that it's putting the government in a very difficult situation. First of all, there is pressure on the President Kais Saied because they fear that the unrest that they're seeing in Gabes could spread elsewhere. There have also been protests about chemical production spread to Tunis, the capital of Tunisia, in support of what has been going on in Gabes. And the second problem for the government in all this is that it needs to balance public health on one side with the demands for the production of phosphate on the other. Just to give you a few extra figures, this is the fifth largest company in the world, the Tunisian chemical group. It produces up to about 8 million tons of product annually. And 85% of the phosphate is transformed in 4 factories in the south of Tunisia, including in Gabes. So this is a huge money-spinning organisation for the government and for Tunisia, and very important as bringing in money to the country. So the government just can't close this factory down rapidly. It has to move it elsewhere. The problem is that there was an agreement, as I was saying, to stop this company from producing, or at least to bring down the production level and then to move it elsewhere, which was supposed to have happened by 2017. These discussions began back in 2012. That has not happened. And I think also the anger of these protesters has been spiked by the fact that the government has announced that it's increasing production at this company because it's in a profitable situation, and there's more demand for these fertilisers which are being produced in Tunisia. So all of this is a very unsatisfactory situation for the local population, and that's why we've seen these protests. And it looks as though these protests are going to continue until the government moves in to do something about it.